Almost 100 people arrested in Los Angeles overnight as protests continue for a second day over a grand jury decision not to indict police officer Darren Wilson. Wilson broke his silence last night, speaking publicly for the very first time, saying he was sorry for the loss of Michael Brown's life, but he says his conscience is clear because he was simply doing his job. Meantime, there were more than 170 protests nationwide last night, including demonstrations in Boston, New York City, and in New Haven. ABC's Karen Travers with the latest.
Officer Darren Wilson said this is the most important thing he wants people to believe about the shooting death of Michael Brown.
I just did my job. I followed my training.
Here he is, speaking out for the first time, exclusively to ABC's George Stephanopoulos, describing the moment he knew that the unarmed teenager was dead.
And I saw the face that he had go blank. Everything was just blank. And I knew immediately that he had passed.
And his message for Michael Brown's parents.
I'm sorry that their son lost his life. It wasn't the intention of that day. So yes, there is remorse.
Overnight, more demonstrations in Ferguson, but they were far less violent and destructive than the previous night.
I think generally it was a much better night.
700 National Guard troops here in Ferguson on Monday night, increased to about 2,200 last night. County police did use tear gas to disrupt some demonstrators who burned a police car, and there were reports of vandalism near City Hall. Across the nation, in dozens of cities, large and mostly peaceful crowds took to the streets, demanding justice for Michael Brown.
Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot!
Officer Wilson told ABC News he hasn't made a decision yet about his next step and whether he'll return to the Ferguson police force. He and his wife are expecting a baby, and he says he just wants to live a normal life. Karen Travers, ABC News, Ferguson, Missouri.